Honey, I gotta put you get hot and you down. And I'm sorry. It's not my fault. It's apples. Y'all, I had a good workout. I didn't really like, I'm so pre-mensing right now that like, I don't know. Sometimes it's hard. I mean, I had 2 bottles of caffeine and I still couldn't really get into it. But I did a 42-minute workout, so that's good. It was kind of like a full body. I started with hip thrust. I did 2 sets. Normally I would do more, but these were extra weighted. Like you'll see I posted a short. You'll see in the short that like this was a lot of weight. It was 45. I think it was like 65 pounds. So anyway, I did 2 of those because I was already like, I could already feel it. And then I did 3 sets of Bulgarian split squats weighted with 20 pounds. Then I did lunges. Y'all, I'll be forgetting to turn this crap off. People are so jealous. Thank you to the person that's in front of you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Y'all, this was $6 for 3 tenders. $5. Hold on. $5.34 plus the gas to get over there to buy it. What is this? This is a bite. This is getting ridiculous. Poor girl working the drive-thru looked like she was over life. I started making jokes. I was like, girl, it's so hot out here. I bet you could fry chicken out here in the parking lot. She was like, yeah, or an egg. It's like, for sure. This is bull. For reference, even this one's small. Usually they're bigger than that. And look at this. Ain't enough to fill up a toddler. Anyways, these taste like frozen. Oh God, there's this guy out here in the parking lot acting crazy, y'all. I'm sorry. That one's better. That little one tasted like it's been in the freezer for 14 decades. He tasted frost burnt, and then this chicken's not supposed to be frozen. That's better. So I'm at the library, and where's that lady that was nosy the other day that allegedly went in there and said I was acting crazy and I was under duress? Because this guy out here in the parking lot is shouting and screaming and clearly cussing. He's on the phone. He's like being erratic, waving his arms, screaming. Clearly under duress, smoking a Marlboro. What appears to be a Marlboro. I can recognize them white cigarettes from everywhere. I want one. Let me mind my business. I'm hungry. And of course I haven't eaten, sir. The gym was so peaceful. There was another young girl in there. Well, there was another girl in there. You can see how I still feel about myself. There was another young girl in there, 37-year-old woman. I told y'all, listen, don't be ashamed of feeling younger than you actually are. Some people are late bloomers. I didn't even start to like become aware of society and the world until I was like 32, when I got clean about 5 years ago. Everybody develops at a different rate. If you are 40 years old and you feel 32, honey, embrace that, because I know 30-year-olds that feel like 50-year-olds and they act crazy. You know, they're like, oh, my life is over. I'm like, sir, you just turned 30. Chill the fuck out. In 10 years, you'll be in your prime. Like, call me crazy, but I just feel like society devalues people the older they get, and actually, the older we get, the better we get. Man, give me a salt and pepper man any day. You know what I mean? I don't get it. But anyways, I'm 37 years young. My life just started 5 years ago when I got clean. I got a whole life ahead of me. Ain't nobody taking that from me. And don't let anybody take it from you. When they're like, oh, you're getting older, be like, screw you, Susan. You might feel like damn baby powder, but this bitch ain't baby powder. Okay? You tell people to screw off when they try to bring up your age. And that shows you that they feel some type of way about their age. Anyways, there was another young girl in there. She was doing her thing. Y'all, listen to this. So we have these like Rogue. They're like these cushion, padded, weighted boxes. I don't even know what they are. When I came in, I was setting up for my glute bridges and I scooted this box against the wall. Well, unbeknownst to me, her car keys were sitting behind this box that I scooted against the wall. So this girl goes to leave and she can't find her keys, and she comes walking back through the gym and she's like looking, and I'm like, what are you looking for? You're like, I'll help you, you know. And I needed to help her because I was the reason her keys was missing. So we're looking all over the gym at this point, there's a worker in there that works at the gym, me and this other girl whose keys are lost, and we're looking everywhere. And finally it dawns on me, I'm like, oh my God. I like scoot the box out and I'm like, oh my God, I wonder if they're back here. And as soon as I said that, they were laying right there. So I done kidnapped some girl in the gym. Unbeknownst to me, I felt horrible. I mean, it all went down in like a matter of like 3 minutes. So I guess it wasn't a big deal, but I sure as hell did not see anything. I wasn't paying attention. I come in and I got tunnel vision and I'm like, this is what I want to do first. And I'm like hyped up and I'm just moving like crazy because y'all know I'm spastic. And I'm just moving shit all over the gym so that I can set up for what I need to do. And did not notice that her car keys and her book bag she had her bag on the side of the box, and then I guess her car keys she had set behind the box. And when I scooted the box against the wall, it literally ran over her car keys. Apparently there was like a small wallet attached. It looked like she had like a huge thing of keys like me, you know. I was thinking she was looking for like a single key. No. Like most girls, like most women, she had everything you could possibly need on her keychain. A sanitizer, a sewing kit, a pill bottle, a mini wallet. Like, she had everything. I mean, it was a handful, 2 handfuls of keys, you know? And that's why she's like, I don't know how I lost them. She's like, it's huge. Oh my God. Girl, I am so sorry. And thank you for being so cool about that. It's me. Hi, I'm the problem. It's me. I stole your shit by accident. Oops. And it is a tiny little gym. Things can't just go missing. It didn't. I set this big ass box right up on top of it. But at least like a typical culprit, I helped her look for him. I had my friend when I was like 20. She stole my car and crashed it in the middle of the night. She actually crashed it into a condo in Wilmington. It was a resort hotel. When I realized my car was missing the next morning, like a good thief, she helped me look for my car keys. You know? I'll never forget that. She's like, where could they be? I wonder where your car is. She was the one responsible for stealing it and running it through a condo at like 3 a.m. on the beach. Good times. Why don't I have friends? Because I like to learn from my mistakes. Okay? I like to learn from my mistakes. Y'all, that chicken was so good. I just like swallowed that like it was damn Christmas dinner, didn't I? Probably need some protein. That bottle's half-assed filthy. I ain't got no water in here. Yeah, dude. Y'all, I'm ready to relax. I'm so ready to relax. I need to clean up in here. I still ain't made my damn bed. Listen, it was so hot last night. Even though the rain kind of cooled it off, it still gets so hot in here. So hot. I can't express enough how hot it gets. I be like over here Googling if I'm going through menopause. I'm like, oh God, is this it? You know? Because it's so hot. I think that it's just because it's a black truck. Blacked out windows, black truck. It's insulated as hell in here because I have all this stuff in here. I got a 12-inch memory foam twin mattress back there that's going to hold heat. And then I'm blacked out. All my windows are blacked out, so that's going to hold heat too. So I'm telling you, it can be 70 degrees outside and it'll feel like 80, 85 in here. So at night when the temperature doesn't drop until, 2 a.m., 3 a.m., I'm hot as hell until then. And still, even then, recently, the low has been in the upper 70s or 80s. 82 degrees at 3 a.m., homie. It's 90 in here and I'm suffocating. Not to mention the humidity has been above 60% for like days, weeks, okay? It's pushing into the 80s at some point. So there's more moisture in the air and it makes you sticky and sweaty, and I cannot express enough how you're gonna need money to run the gas, because a fan like the one that's keeping you cool right now, that ain't gonna do shit when it's 82 degrees at 4 a.m. Okay? It's not gonna help. It's still gonna be 90 in here and you're gonna suffocate. So you gotta run the gas. You gotta run a truck. It sucks. That's the shit they don't tell you. And hell, you can't escape the heat. It's hot like this everywhere, from anywhere in the mid east, and to Florida. It's hot as hell right now. This summer is gonna be torture, y'all. It's supposed to be the hottest one on record. Probably beat last year's temperature. I mean, it's just getting hotter and hotter. It takes a toll. It takes a toll. So I'm gonna do 2 scoops of this. I wonder where that other protein went. I had another one that had some BACs and stuff in it, creatine, and I can't find it. It might be in storage. I'm actually gonna do like 1.5. Come on, Betty Crocker. 1.5. I don't know what I'll eat for dinner. I'll probably fry up that sweet potato that I got yesterday. I like to cut it up and boil it, and then put it in a saucepan with some honey and cinnamon. Sweet potatoes are filling. I can't rave enough about potatoes. I love some potatoes, man. You can have, I'm telling you, you eat a whole food diet, you can eat about just as many damn potatoes as you want. I mean, that's what our body was designed to run on. Potatoes, rice, grains, oatmeal. Those are healthy carbs. Those are good carbs. Yeah, a lot of people that are on a fat loss journey, they try to steer away from, carbs like potatoes. But you need that. You know, if you're going to skip out on bread, then instead of having bread with dinner, then have a sweet potato. Your body will thank you, I promise. Full of fiber, full of healthy stuff that you need to function. Actually, matter of fact, every time I go to the Golden Corral, Grandma's Cookout, I'll get a potato. Y'all have been with me. They don't have one around here. All my resources are in Florida. It sucks. Anytime I would eat those like loaded baked potatoes, we put the butter and the sour cream and stuff, bacon bits and stuff. I felt my workouts the next day were better. My phone's acting up. My workouts would be more better. Like I could they were more intense. So it's probably, potatoes are probably good for a pre-workout 2 or 3 hours before you're going to work out. Cheers. Sometimes it's rough. Sometimes I can get it down. Sometimes I can't. That chicken is not the best, but it's not the worst either. I wonder how often they change that oil. Probably not very often. What's been going on today? The world on fire? I wouldn't know. So, President Donald Trump said that he will allow 2 weeks for diplomacy to proceed before deciding whether to launch a strike in Iran. A powerful Iran-backed militant in Iraq vowed to attack U.S. military bases in the region if Trump decides to enter the conflict. No answers. 2 weeks, huh? So we're just supposed to sit around for 2 weeks worried as shit? That's what they want us to do. So it sounds like he said he's going to wait 2 weeks to decide what to do. Yo, you know it's bad out here when the damn hospitals and medical university medical centers are laying people off. Vanderbilt University this morning, they laid off 650 people at their medical university. Vanderbilt University Medical Center announces up to 650 layoffs due to Fed funding cuts. They weren't the only one. Microsoft is cutting tens of thousands of jobs. Who else was it? Hold on, let me think. Let me cook. Let me cook. Intel is laying off 10,000 employees. That dropped 14 hours ago. Intel names executives that they're laying off in July, one day ago. Gateway Church announces staff layoffs, and that's because one of their pastors is a pervert. Microsoft layoffs, tens of thousands of more job cuts coming, one day ago. Vanderbilt, Temple University, they're laying off. We got schools, medical centers, they're laying off. Let's see, layoffs. Cornell, is that a college? More state employee layoffs possible as Indiana governor looks for a sweet spot. City of Denver laying off. Yeah, I mean, literally, like, government positions, city positions. Meta fired 20,000 employees. Yeah, those were just the ones for today. Just for today. We'll talk about some more next week, because, you know. We're fucked. Whoa. 3 hours ago, hundreds of federal workers received more layoff notices. Damn. 600 employees, June 20th. This dropped at 2:08 p.m. It was revised at 3:50. So, 600 employees sent layoff Trump's administration sent layoff notices Friday to more than 600 employees at the Voice of America, a federally funded news organization that provides independent reporting. In March, President Trump accused the news group of spreading anti-American and propaganda. Well, I believe it, and I'm down with it. But damn, that's my competition now. Damn. Ruh-roh. God, the fudge. Can we really start checking on people? I mean, seriously, if you see somebody in your community that looks unwell, they look unstable, they look deranged, can we just stop and check on people? First of all, look at this mugshot. I don't know what the hills have eyes has happened to this person. But bless them, Jesus, please. I'm just going to let you take a gander. It literally looks like something out of the Chainsaw Massacre. Okay? She, I don't know. Hold on. I don't mean to be mean, but I mean to point out that this is why profiling is so important. Alright, I don't even know what it is. What in the inbred have they been doing up there in Rockingham County? Wednesday evening, Rockingham County Sheriff's deputies were told of a gunshot victim found at a home in Stoneville off of NC Highway 135. First responders soon arrived to the scene and found a white male who was shot in his abdomen. Officials say the victim was soon hospitalized for further treatment. During the investigation, authorities identified the homeowner, James Patrick Britton, as the suspect. Britton, who's 24, was arrested on assault with a deadly weapon with intent to kill, inflicting serious injury. Those are the charges I had when I was 18. That was the exact charge. That's like 16 to 24 years in prison. And he also was charged with discharging a weapon in an occupied property, inflicting serious bodily injuries. Who is this guy? Deputies identified the victim as William Michael Pullum Jr., 45, who remains at the hospital but is expected to recover. They threw him in jail without bond. He goes to court on June 23rd for a hearing. That's all you... Hold on one moment. Hours ago. Give me something good. Tell me something good. Lord, have mercy, Jesus Christ. He's not okay. It's a he. He's not okay. A man was arrested after a shooting in Rockingham County on Wednesday. Blah, blah, blah. Same crap. Nothing. They don't tell me why this happened, why they think, like... And I'm just wondering how a 24-year-old owns a property. God, I'm jealous. Like, he owned the property where the victim was shot. We need to check on people more often. That's all I'm saying. Look at him. He's not well. What gave it away? His look or the fact that he shot somebody in the abdomen? Both. Both. His look told me that he was on the verge of trying to kill somebody. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I'm just saying we need to check on people. They're not okay. I wonder if he was in the meth, because that's a big problem in Rockingham County. Huge problem. What is this? Wisconsin, Madison, Wisconsin. There was a school shooting. Hold on one second. Wisconsin. School shooting. I think it was a female. I could be wrong. Oh, okay. That's that abundant life. Is that what that is? Okay. So do y'all remember the Abundant Life Christian school shooting with the female, which is really rare for there to be a school shooting executed by a female. I think it was only like 2 or 3 times in our nation's history that we had. Hold on one second. Is that her? Make sure these stories, this is confusing. Yes, this is her father. Oh my God, what the flip. Okay, so there was a school shooting in Wisconsin, and it was December 16th of last year. It was a school shooting at the Abundant Life Christian School in Madison, Wisconsin. 2 people were confirmed dead and 6 others were injured. The perpetrator, identified as 15-year-old Natalie Rutnow, She went by Samantha. She executed herself at the scene. This was a Christian school that was private for K through 12. The shooting occurred inside of the classroom used as a study hall. According to the Madison Police Department, they received a 911 call from a second grade teacher inside the school at 10:57 a.m. The shooting was in a mixed age and grade study hall. Natalie was armed with 2 handguns during the shooting, but only used one of them. Law enforcement arrived at the scene and found the shooter dead at 11:05 a.m. from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. The suspect was initially reported as a teenage juvenile and a student at the school. The shooter was declared dead while being transported to the hospital. At 11:14 a.m., school staff and students were evacuated. None of the responding officers fired their weapons. After the initial sweep of the school, police officials reported that there was no further threat to the public. According to various news agencies, a public safety alert was sent to nearby phones around 11:20 a.m., which was like 20 minutes after. A total of 21 shell casings were recovered at the school. Natalie carried 2 pistols, a 9mm Glock 19 and a .22 caliber 6 Sauer P322, 5 9mm magazines and 3 .22 caliber magazines. She also had a box containing 50 rounds of 9mm ammunition. She wore a black shirt inscribed with a bullseye. During the initial news conference, officials from the Madison Police Department reported the death toll was 5 people, but later amended their report and said that there were 3 people, including the suspected shooter, were dead. The victims, 2 of them, were identified by the Dane County Medical Examiner's Office as 42-year-old teacher Aaron West and 14-year-old student Ruby Virga. 6 people were injured, 2 critically. So, I think most of us can remember this because of how rare it was for a female to commit a mass shooting like this, specifically a school shooting. Natalie Lynn Roop, it's R-U-P-N-O-W. She was born November 7th, 2009. A 15-year-old female student at the school was identified by law enforcement as the perpetrator. Natalie lived in the Madison area for the entirety of her life, with family ties to both 2 different places of Wisconsin, Ralph and Friesland. Her parents both divorced and remarried twice. I just want to say that the ups and downs of your marriage absolutely impacts the child. The ups and downs of marriage impacts these children and their brain development. How confusing. One minute they hated each other. First they were in love. Then they hated each other. Then they get a divorce. Then they get remarried. Then they hate. It shows a pattern of instability in the home. Her parents were both divorced and remarried twice. Oh, I thought it meant I thought it meant that they were divorced and remarried twice each. Jesus Christ. This girl's had so many step parents come in and out of her life. I thought it meant that they broke up and got back together and married again. Anyways, I'm sorry, I'm stupid. Don't worry, I got a helmet. She had been enrolled in therapy by July of 2022, which was supposed to help guide her decisions about which parent she would spend the weekends with. That's a lot of pressure to put on a kid. Before this therapy, Natalie had threatened to off herself and had engaged in self-mutilating behavior until her father had to lock up all the knives in his house. Months prior to the shooting in August, Natalie joined a gun club with her father, and he took her to the shooting range. He wrote in a Facebook comment that they had just joined the club that spring and had been quote, loving every second of it. Her father told police that her interest in firearms had snowballed and that he had informed her of the combination. Oh, he gave her the combination to his gun safe. Speaking of which, That's what led me here. So she's dead. They found her body in the school. However, her father was just charged back in May. So he openly admitted that he gave Natalie the combination to the gun safe in the home. Y'all already know how I feel about this. His actions, or the lack thereof, directly led to people dying. See, he's the adult. She was 15. I'm not inexcusing her actions, but I am saying at the end of the day, it is his sole responsibility as a firearm owner to prevent firearms getting into his 15-year-old daughter's hands. He failed to do that. Children, teachers died. Wisconsin prosecutors on Thursday charged the father of a teenage girl who killed a teacher and a fellow student in a school shooting last year with allowing her access to semi-automatic pistols she used in the attack. First of all, let's talk about it, because y'all know I got to. You know I got to. What is going on here? The whole family does not look like they were doing well. We know she was in therapy. We know she had a lot of problems. And then, lo and behold, where do you think those problems stem from? So he's in jail. He's 42-year-old Jeffrey, R-U-P-N-O-W of Madison. The criminal complaint says that 15-year-old Natalie expressed a hatred of humanity following her parents' divorce. What did I say? And how he hoped he could bond with her through guns. It also says the girl meticulously planned the attack, including building a cardboard model of the school and scheduling the shooting to end with her suicide. He's been charged with contributing to the delinquency of a minor and 2 counts of intentionally giving a weapon to a child, causing death. So let's talk about the backstory. Natalie, she entered the Abundant Life Christian School, a religious school in Madison that offers pre-K kindergarten through high school classes, on December 16th, and she opened fire in the study hall. She killed a teacher and a student and injured 6 others before killing herself. I've already talked about the gun she had. Hold on, what is this? Jeffrey, who was her father, had given a gun to her as a Christmas present in 2023. It was the .22 caliber Sig Sauer pistol that she had on her when she offed herself. Let's be logical about this. These are high-powered pistols. These are not a Red Ryder BB gun. Really think about the lack of parental guidance in giving your 15-year-old a pistol. Not every parent deserves children, clearly. Jeffrey told investigators that his daughter lived with him but had been struggling with his divorce from her mother in 2022, saying that she hated her life and wanted to kill herself. He said that she used to cut herself to the point he had to lock up the knives in the house. She had been in therapy to learn how to be more social until the spring before the attack. Her mother, Melissa, told detectives that her therapist told her that Natalie was suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder stemming from the divorce. I have no doubt that this divorce caused her a lot of grief, but post-traumatic stress disorder is not something that we would typically see with a child of divorced parents. Like, there has to be a certain level of malevolence involved in creating PTSD. So I don't believe that, but whatever. If you want to blame it on PTSD while she murdered, children and a teacher, whatever, I don't think that's the case at all. One of Natalie's friends told investigators that Jeffrey was frequently verbally aggressive with Natalie, and that she had told him that her father was a drinker. Now that I believe. Jeffrey told investigators that took Natalie Jeffrey told investigators that he took Natalie shooting with him on a friend's land about 2 years before the Abundant Life attack. She enjoyed it and he came to see guns as a way to connect with her, but he was shocked at how her interest in firearms snowballed. He kept Natalie's pistols in a gun safe, telling her that if she ever needed them, then he gave her the access code, which was part of his social security number entered backwards. About 10 days before the school attack, he texted a friend and said that Natalie would, quote, shoot him if he left the fun safe open right now. The day before the shooting attack, he took out the SIG, which was Natalie's gun, out of the safe so Natalie could clean it, but he got distracted and wasn't sure if he put the weapon back in the safe or locked it. Holy crap. So they searched her home after they found her body in the school. A search of Natalie's room netted a 6-page manifesto the girl had written entitled, quote, War Against Humanity. She started the piece by describing humanity as filth and saying that she hated people who don't care and smoke their lungs out with weed or drank as much as they can, like my own father. I think her father was an alcoholic. I do, and I think he was abusive, probably in more than one way. She has all of the behavioral markers for, and that would cause PTSD because the malevolence is going to be there. He has control over his actions and he's choosing to drink and harm her. So maybe they were right about the PTSD, but I don't think it came from a damn divorce. It sounds like from her own manifesto, she says that her father was a drunk. She told friends he was a drunk. She told friends that he was verbally abusive. I hope they throw him under the jail. She wrote about how she admired school shooters and how her mother was not in her life, or how she obtained her weapons by lies and manipulation, and my father's stupidity. So here she's mocking him in her manifesto, saying, what a fucking drunken idiot. I've done coaxed him into buying me guns. And one thing that I do remember about the case is that she was absolutely infatuated with the Columbine shooters' legacy. Investigators also discovered maps of the school and a cardboard model of the building, along with a handwritten schedule that detailed how she would bring the attack at 11:30 a.m. and wipe out the first and second floors of the school by 11:55. She planned to end the attack at 12:10 with a notation, ready for death. She had been communicating online with people around the world about her fascination with school shootings and weapons. Acting Madison Police Chief John Pearson said in a press conference, Jeffrey, who was her father, sent a message to a detective 2 weeks after the school shooting saying that his biggest mistake was teaching Natalie how to handle guns safely and urging police to warn people to change their gun safety combinations every 2 to 3 months. Listen here, you... Can we just throw him off a bridge? I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. People died. You know, it's crazy that people like this have children, and clearly her environment led to this. It's just crazy. As soon as Melissa, the mother of Natalie, found out, her first statements were, quote, as officers informed her that Natalie was dead and that Natalie had completed a school shooting, the first thing out of Melissa's mouth was, I'm going to kill him, I'm going to kill him, referring to her ex-husband. I'm sorry, ma'am. Where were you? Where were you? Like, you know, I don't know. Jeffrey is now the latest parent of a school shooter to face charges associated with an attack. Last year, the mother and father of a school shooter in Michigan who killed 4 students in 2021, were each convicted of involuntary manslaughter. The mother, the first parent in the U.S. to be held responsible for a child carrying out a mass shooting attack. This is way too late. I mean, I'm glad they're doing it now, but this is way too late. The father of a 14-year-old boy accused of fatally shooting 4 people at a Georgia high school was arrested in September and faces charges including second-degree murder and involuntary manslaughter for letting his son possess a weapon. In 2023, the father of a man charged in a deadly 4th of July parade shooting in suburban Chicago pled guilty to 7 misdemeanors related to how his son obtained a gun license. This is crazy. So they ended up giving him bond. So they arrested him in May. And then, why don't they put dates on nothing? Oh, so they arrested him, it looks like the beginning of May. And then he had his first court appearance. He was arrested on a Wednesday, and by Friday he had his first appearance. They set his bond at $20,000. They took his guns. He was charged with 2 felony counts of intentionally giving a dangerous weapon to a minor, causing death, and 1 felony count of contributing to the delinquency of a child. He could face up to 18 years in prison if convicted on all counts, and he absolutely should, because he's a damn idiot. Sometimes I be thinking these parents want these children to behave this way. There's a common theme. You know, they're either struggling with behavioral issues, they're having, identity issues. And she was non-binary, by the way. She was trying to act like a he. I think it's irrelevant to the case. But I just want to be clear. Behavioral issues, identity issues, anger management issues, authoritarian issues. Is that the word? They have a problem with authority. They can't listen to their parents. They're sneaking out the house. They're getting in fights at school. All of these shooters have common trends and behavioral patterns that come with this type of aggression towards schools. I mean, once again, we need to be checking on people. Because it's clear that there's parents out here that are not even checking on their own children. All of the warning signs are there, and instead of running in the opposite direction to get their child help through therapy and potentially medication, they're running in the opposite direction to the gun store to purchase weapons. What about the kid that had a visit from the FBI a month prior to a school shooting? He had been on the Xbox telling people that he was going to shoot up a school. The FBI got a tip. The FBI went by the parents' house, had a sit-down meeting with the father and this boy. I think his name was Colton. Shit. That father was charged as well. The FBI had showed up and asked the father and the son if this was a planned thing, if they needed to be worried about this kid who had behavioral problems, came from a family of divorce, being raised alone by his father. A lot of problems. The FBI asked if this was going to be a problem. And then a month later, this kid sneaks a long rifle into school on the school bus that was concealed with cardboard paper that he said was a class project, and he committed a school shooting. It's crazy. And his father was charged, by the way. And that might have been Georgia, but I can't remember, y'all. They all run together to me because I ain't got no memory. Trauma. So if he is released, he has to wear a GPS monitor. He's not allowed to have any contact from the school or possess any firearms. His new hearing is set for June 9th, which he just had. This thing will get dragged out for a year or two before he gets sentenced because they're felony charges, and it takes time to get the motion of discovery released to the defense. So this will drag out for the next year or two. He probably won't. I would guess that, I mean, at the soonest he could be sentenced by this time next summer. Let's see. He bought the 2 handguns she brought into the school as a way to bond with her. I mean, you can bake cookies, you can play baseball, you can go to the movies together, you can have an interest in toy cars. He added that he had told her the access code to the safe where he stored the guns in case she ever needed him. Who is she? Indiana Jones? James Bond? She's 15. You know, it's just crazy because they say that I shouldn't be around kids, but I really don't think that I'm the problem. Oh, God. Investigator found writings in her room saying that she hated people who smoked marijuana and drank. And it mentioned that her dad drank. It looks like he did. Call me crazy, but I got the vibe. I got the vibe. There ain't no telling what she was holding in. If it's true that he was drinking and he would get toxic and abusive, there's no telling what that poor child had been with, and she probably felt abandoned by her mother. I mean, I'm not saying it's all his fault, but a good point is it was his responsibility to gear his daughter in the right direction, and instead of doing that, he put weapons in her hand and taught her to shoot. And then left the gun safe open so she had full access to these firearms. And 2 people died. And he clearly did not need to have custody of a child. It looks like he was barely able to take care of himself. Yeah, I was wondering where the mother was. Questions have been raised about the mysterious mother of Natalie Rupnell. Investigators have been trying to figure out if the mass shooter's parents, Jeff and Melissa, had any involvement in contributing to Natalie's actions, which left 2 people dead and 6 injured before she killed herself. Natalie reportedly had a rocky home life and was forced to move home to home as a result of her parents' turbulent marriages. So there it looks like her mother and her father when they had her. That poor mama looks exhausted already. He's on social media posting videos of Natalie when she was like 14 or 15 shooting guns at gun ranges like it's cute. It's just, listen, it's one thing to share in an experience with your kid, hunting, teaching them how to fish, teaching them how to shoot. It's a whole nother thing to take videos of it and post it to social media. It just makes it cringe in my opinion. Do you get what I'm saying? It's weird. Let's see. There she was at the firing range right there. That was from one of the social media clips that her father posted to his Facebook. According to court documents, Natalie's parents first married 2 years after she was born in 2011. Melissa had been previously married and divorced, and she had another daughter, now 20, with a different man to whom she was married. Court records indicate that Natalie's half-sister had other permanent legal guardians. So it sounds like Melissa, Natalie's mother, had several children that were not in her custody. Jeff and Melissa divorced for the first time in 2014, where they agreed to have joint legal custody of Natalie, but specified that she would primarily live with her mother. Yeah, no, no, you can't. Let me see it. Let me see it. Let me see it. Get in there. Can I not zoom in? Shit. Look at them teeth. Look at them teeth rotting out around the ring like you'd see from a meth head. Very interesting. Both of them. Black decay around the inner part of the teeth. And Melissa's front teeth are completely black. The couple then remarried in 2017. So I was right in my assessment when I didn't read it wrong. They divorced, they got married again, and then they divorced again. It sounds like Natalie was bouncing from home to home. Her mother remarried one other time, had another kid. The couple remarried in 2017 and divorced for a second time in 2020, where they once again agreed to share custody of their daughter. Natalie then spent a more even amount of time between her two parents. 2 days with her father, 2 days with her mother, 3 more with her father, before flipping the schedule the following week. I just want to be clear that is not good for a child. It's not good for them at all. And matter of fact, they sometimes grow up flip-flopping from place to place because they've never had a single stable environment for longer, than a week or so. Not long after Natalie's parents split up for the second time, the couple were married once more, but by April of 2021, they were petitioning for a third divorce. So these people, God, Jesus Christ. In my opinion, they were probably both doing drugs. In my opinion. A judge granted it a month later, but noted that the parties were admonished concerning remarriage. Over a year later, in July of 22, the parents agreed that they would share legal custody of the young girl, but that she would live mostly with Jeff. By this time, Natalie was enrolled in therapy, which was supposed to help her make decisions about which parent she would spend her weekends with. Let's just imagine for a moment that both of these people were doing drugs. Let's just think about Melissa doing meth and Jeff over here drinking mostly, but sometimes dabbling in meth too. And how this child is 15. She's fully aware that both of her parents are fucking nuts because they've been married 3 times, or I lost count. They've been married a quarter of a dozen times and divorced. And she knows. When you're going through this, you know from your peers, from viewing other people's lives, your friends at school, you see how their parents operate, how they act. You know at an early age that your upbringing is toxic and abusive. And here they've done put her in therapy because her parents don't know how to act, in my opinion. And she should have been snatched out of there. Why? I don't know why she wasn't. Probably because nobody felt concerned. Okay? CPS probably never got involved and never piss test the parents. She's going through all of this. They put her in therapy, and then they want her to decide which toxic environment she wants to go live in. I'm not making excuses for her actions, but I want people to understand that people that do shit like this, a lot of the reason they do stuff like this is from the psychological environmental impact, like the way that they grew up in an environment and the way that it fucked with their psyche. It sounds like this girl was screaming out for help for years. She was self-mutilating. That is a huge sign of a child not feeling loved, a child not valuing themselves, a child suffering with self-esteem, identity issues. She had been in therapy. I guess I'm just saying that these people messed her up, and then that's what led to her killing other people. I'm not making excuses for her actions. She had a choice. But once again, she was 15. She was still a child. I don't think that, yeah, it's just messed up. We also want to look as if the parents have been negligent, said the Madison police sheriff. And it feels like they decided that they had been because they arrested Jeff. I mean, even, you know, here's the crazy thing. Hold on one second. Oh, let me zoom in. It won't let me zoom into these pictures. Even, I can tell in this picture that even Natalie's teeth had decay. She was 15. I wonder when the last time she saw a dentist was. I wonder when the first or last time her parents told her to brush her teeth. You can look at people sometimes and see that things are not well. There's no reason that child's teeth should have been rotten out of her mouth. The teen went through several rounds of therapy as her parents divorced and remarried several times. Where was Melissa, though? Police have said that Natalie's motivation for killing a student and a teacher and injuring several others during study hall seems to be a combination of factors. And it doesn't tell me anything else about Melissa. Nothing. It's like her mother has disappeared off the map since she found out that her daughter was dead. If she was, in my opinion, if she was struggling with drug addiction, she probably just fell into that even harder after Natalie passed away, in my opinion. If she was, in fact, a drug user, which I think she was. I think both of them were. I think both of them were. Natalie herself knew that her father was a drinker, and she talked about it in her manifesto. It's just disturbing because it's preventable. That was a preventable crime, and I'm glad that they arrested the father and that he's being prosecuted, because that's what we need to see happen. These people out here, anybody, damn it, I broke this clip and I can't get it out. It fell down my cup holder and I can't get it out. Yeah, we need to set firm laws around gun ownership. I believe in gun ownership. I think that people, you know, of course, if they're not a felon like me, then they have every right to have their firearms, and I support gun ownership. But at the same time, a lot of people that get guns are not intellectually inclined to have that gun. We're seeing this in recent years with all of these school shootings. Time and time again, it is neglectful parents that lead to these shootings. They've allowed their children to have access to guns time and time again. Just like the woman from Virginia whose 6-year-old shot a teacher during class. She was charged with allowing her son to have access to a firearm, and rightfully so. He did. He shot his, what is that, kindergarten? 6? I guess it would be kindergarten. He shot his teacher in the stomach. And thank God she lived. And she later sued the school district because this child had not only made concerning statements in the past about wanting to shoot her. Imagine a 6-year-old looking you in the face and saying, I'm going to shoot you. I want to shoot you. If I could shoot you, I'd shoot you. And school authorities did not take these threats seriously. This child had extreme behavioral issues. His mother, who authorities later found out was high all the time on marijuana, they actually busted her for possession of marijuana. And listen, I know a lot of parents smoke, but I think this was on a whole nother level. This woman clearly was living her own life while trying to raise a child and was not completely dedicated to raising this child. And I think that that's why the marijuana use was of concern, was because it seemed like she would rather smoke marijuana than mentor her child. So I'm not saying every parent, you know, different levels to this shit, clearly. Some people can smoke marijuana and be reasonable and rational and responsible. Other people take it to a whole nother level and they build their whole personality around the need to smoke a blunt every 5 minutes. Who was the mother in Virginia that allowed her 6-year-old to have access to a firearm and he shot his teacher? I do believe that teacher won that money. And she should have. This child had been disruptive. He was problematic. His behavioral problems were affecting other children in the classroom. His behavioral problems were affecting his teachers. They would have to stop teaching because this child would be disruptive. The school administrators, the school board, nobody was trying to do anything to help this child. This child, in my opinion, was screaming out for help. When we're seeing a child that young, and he had been having behavioral problems for a while, when we're seeing behavioral problems that young, specifically violence, it tells you a story of the environment that they are living in when they are not at school. You would think teachers would know this. They're mandated reporters by law. If they suspect abuse of any kind, they are supposed to report it. And it sounds like his teacher did, but the administration of the school shut it down. And that's why the teacher sued. So let me talk about this, because this is actually a really interesting case. I loved how the mother tried to play the victim, of course. And in my opinion, she's another one that didn't deserve a kid. Her name was Deja Taylor. It's Deja. So she was actually sentenced. Let's see. She was sentenced on a felony child neglect charge related to the shooting of her son's first grade teacher, Abigail Swinner. So she's 26 years old. The little boy was 6 years old. She could have faced as long as 5 years in prison, but was given a shorter sentence. She got 6 months behind bars as part of a plea deal. They dropped it to a misdemeanor charge of reckless storage of a firearm. Hold on. Taylor must begin her state sentence after she finished serving 21 months on a federal related charge. She pled guilty in June to a charge of using marijuana while owning a gun. That's what it was. Under federal law, and she was sentenced last month. So it looks like she received a 21-month federal sentence for smoking marijuana while owning a gun. And then she was charged in a separate event, and she received 6 months for allowing her son to obtain the firearm. My only question now is where's this little boy? Okay, here's my answer. A lawyer for the family said that Taylor's son, who is now 7, remains under the care of his great-grandfather, Calvin Taylor. She has supervised contact with her son. I don't understand. What do you mean she has? Are you saying that when she gets out of prison, she's going to get custody of her son? Are we flipping for real right now? So I can have my kid stole with no fucking evidence, but this bitch literally has proven that she is a unfit fucking mother. And she's going to get her kid back when she gets out? That's what it fucking sounds like. And when he kills somebody one day, we'll be back here talking about it. Because it will happen. I don't understand this world, y'all. She's proven that she's neglectful. She's proven that she did drugs. She admitted she did drugs. She gave this baby a firearm or access to it. He shot somebody. And we think that it's okay for her to obtain custody when she gets... And it sounds like that's the plan, because the child is staying with her, grandfather. And she has visitation with the child still. So Calvin is probably just watching this baby until she gets out of federal prison, in my opinion. If the state has allowed her to place the child with family, and also she has visitation, then that means that she still has access to the child, which means that more than likely she still has parental rights. Yeah, we'll be talking about this again when he kills somebody, and everybody's like, why didn't y'all take him from his mother? That's the same little boy that shot a teacher back in 2022. She's 26 years old. I'm sorry. So the mother's 26, the baby boy is 6 years old, and the teacher was also 26. Her name, sorry, I don't have it. She said she read a victim's impact statement when this mother was being charged, or when at her court hearing. She has said that she suffers from extreme anxiety and depression as a result of the shooting and no longer wants to teach. And I think she was shot in the arm. It might have not been the stomach. I don't remember. The teacher shot by the 6-year-old texted a dire warning to a loved one before she was wounded. The 6-year-old won't face any charges. And the Virginia teacher said she immediately sprang into action after being shot. Her first plan of action was to get all of the students out of the classroom as she's bleeding out from a wound from a gunshot. She's trying to rush the children out of the room. She said, I just wanted to get my babies out. She filed a $40 million lawsuit, and she said that the school district, the school administration, completely ignored all of the warning signs of the behavioral issues of this 6-year-old. So here's how the shooting went down. On the morning of the shooting, Taylor, who was the mother of the 6-year-old, believed the gun was in her purse with the trigger lock installed and left on top of her bedroom dresser. She added that the key for the lock was kept under her mattress. Marijuana was found during a court-ordered search of the home in the wake of the shooting. A search of Taylor's phone revealed numerous text messages illustrating the pervasive scope of her marijuana use. A lockbox was not found in either of the residences, nor a trigger lock or key to a trigger lock ever found. So she claimed that she had these lock boxes and these trigger locks and blah, 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 blah. And that was not true. It was all lies. They never obtained any of those things that she claimed she had to keep these guns safe. Keep this gun safe. Go figure. She paid for the permit and the firearm and just left it laying around with her 6-year-old son running around. No way. As part of a care plan at the school, the boy's parents were supposed to be with him daily but were absent on the day of the shooting. So this child had such behavioral problems that he had to have a parent chaperone him to school every day. Neither one of the parents showed up this day that he shot the teacher. The family has tried to say that the child has an acute disability and that he had received the treatment he needs in a court-ordered temporary detention at a medical facility. In a sentencing memo on the federal drug charge, prosecutors offered new details about the family's home life, including that the boy had twice stolen car keys from Taylor's purse, even crashing her vehicle on one occasion. Jesus flipping Christ. Because, all I did was breathe wrong, and they were on my front porch without a warrant and stole my child. He is 6 years old. He has stole his mother's car twice, crashed it on one occasion. In addition, Taylor had apparently fired her gun about a month before the shooting at Rich in an argument over whether her son's father was cheating with another woman. The fucking toxic bullshit, man. And we wonder why children act the way they do. This woman out here firing a gun at her ex, accusing him of cheating. He probably was. And this baby seeing all of this as he rolls around probably getting secondhand marijuana smoke from his damn mama smoking in the car. Oh God, they're trying to say that she was a victim of domestic violence and that's why she had all these parental fails. You know, because, you know, your boyfriend cheating on you explains why you leave firearms loaded, you know, in the house. That's perfect excuse. She is and was a victim of abuse and domestic violence. No. Maybe. But that does not excuse. This child was going through a lot, in my opinion. And the state should have stepped in years ago to obtain custody. His behavioral problems at school alone are enough for the state to step in and have him questioned by a therapist as to the dynamics of the home. There were multiple failures in accountability that led to Abby being shot and almost killed while teaching class. And our focus remains fixed on the school district's inaction and failure to protect teachers and students. I wonder if she won her lawsuit. Did the teacher from Virginia win her $40 million lawsuit? They haven't heard it yet. So the lawsuit filed against the Newport News School Board after she was shot by a student is scheduled for trial in January of 25. It probably will take a while. The school board had appealed this decision, but the appeal was denied, allowing the case to move forward to trial. Yeah, and I agree, because if he was such a problem in class that his parents had to chaperone him to school, honey, that is exactly when the principal, the administration should have already called CPS and said, listen, we don't know what the hell is going on in this home, but the mama comes in here every morning as she chaperones her 6-year-old so he doesn't shoot and kill people smelling like marijuana. It absolutely matters. It's one thing if she wanted to smoke dope at the end of a long week after he was in bed on her back porch minding her business. It's a whole nother thing that it was a momentary, daily moment, every minute thing. And that is what the reports have showed, is that she put marijuana use above the care of her own child. Not to mention there is reports of domestic violence, which is exactly why he would be violent at school, because of what he's witnessing at home. Children that are growing up in a family dynamic like this, where the mother is literally firing off shots at baby daddy because she thinks he's cheating. The children are seeing this. And this is why they go to school and they become little bullies. They have behavioral problems. Yeah. I hope that teacher wins money, because CPS should have been notified. And they never were. Sounds like they were trying to handle it in-house, even though this child clearly had extreme behavioral issues. And then he steals his mama's gun, he goes to school and he shoots the teacher, and it's a miracle she survived. All of the warning signs were there, and the school district massively failed the teacher and the student. And in my opinion, the mother is mainly responsible for this mess. And she should have got more time. I don't think that 20-something months is sufficient. I don't think she learned shit. I think that she'll get out and be the same damn person she was when she went in. And this time, she'll get her kid back, you know, allegedly. In my opinion, that's what, if the state has not taken custody at this point over this incident and she was able to place the child with a family member, that in fact means that she still has custody. And judging by the fact that she gets unsupervised visitation with this child while she's in federal prison tells me that she quite potentially still has custody, which is disturbing. Because at what point did they step in? I mean, they should have stepped in before he shot somebody. And now he shot somebody and it doesn't appear like they've stepped in. Still in yet. It's crazy. Crazy. Yeah. Not every parent deserves a child. Clearly. It's sad. These environmental factors play a huge role in a lot of these school shootings. Huge, huge role. It's really sad. I feel bad for people. I feel bad for children. And once again, these kids are aware. They know that what they're going through is not natural. They know that it's abuse. They might not be able to say, oh, this is physical abuse or this is verbal abuse, but they can feel it. They know that it's not okay. I know because I remember how I used to feel watching domestic violence in the home. You know, I knew that it was not normal. I didn't know what it was, but even my parents, you know, my dad drinking, I knew there was like an overwhelming feel of negative emotion in his breath. And you know, I was like 4 and I knew that there was, I don't know what to call it, like it was bad, you know, like there's bad juju. I can feel it. They know that what they're going through is not normal. And when they go to school and they act out like that, they're actually screaming for help. They're hoping somebody notices that something's not right and that they start asking questions and that the home is investigated. So many times, though, these children are just written off as problems and black sheep, and they're put in behavioral classes and they're completely overlooked. They're never interviewed. The reasons why they're having these behavioral problems are never investigated. They're just wrote off as autistic or ADHD or hyperactive, or, and which, by the way, some of those things can come from trauma. Definitely worsened by those things, by trauma. The symptoms get worse for those behavioral issues. But anyways, y'all, it's Friday. Sorry, I'm depressed. I've been like this for like 4 days. I'm trying to pull myself out of it, but some of these cases really bother me. It's like, how did this child slip through the cracks? How? It's disturbing. Like Emily Pike, you know? It's just like, it's disturbing. I was going to talk about that honor killing thing, but I guess we'll wait till Monday, because that's like an hour of history, and hopefully by then I won't be so emotional, because when I started learning, I really thought that was like, it happened in like one place in the world. I did not understand the history of honor killings, and I guess like the culture part of it. It's depressing. It is. Humanity, society has done some evil shit. Like I said, what was it, yesterday? I don't know if things are worse than they used to be or if they're better than they used to be, but learning about some of the stuff that I've learned about this week has definitely showed me that humans can be very vile. Very, very vile. But yeah, we'll talk about that Monday, because we're going to go around the world on that one. This happens, and you know, it's still a huge problem, but there's a lot of people, cultures, different people from different religions and different backgrounds all over the world that practice honor killing, human sacrifices. Oh, I also have some stuff about infanticide, which is practiced around the world as well. Even places in like China, when they had too many children, they would just bury them alive. Yeah, humanity's did some fucked up shit. It's crazy. I'm not saying I'm better than anybody. I'm just saying I'm not that fucking evil. That's all I know. That's all I know. You know what I mean? I would have been in a damn hut. Hand it here. I'll take another one. I don't know how I'm going to feed them. I guess I'm going to be out there damn planting seed till the damn cows come home. I don't know, but hell no, you ain't sticking that baby in no dirt. What the hell is wrong with you? And look, I would have been beheaded on the spot. Welcome to the kind world, you know? You can't even attempt to save nobody else, because then your neck is on the chopping block. Scary shit. Be grateful if you live in the West and the land of the free. Unless you want to fly an American flag, then you're not allowed to do that. But yeah, a lot of different cultures have done some pretty foul stuff all over the world. People just, human nature. It's human nature. Y'all, I'm gonna go relax. I'm gonna take a shower. I might actually paint my toes. I said that last weekend and I never done anything. I laid in the bed. I'm gonna make my bed finally. I'm gonna make it today. Today's the day that I make my bed, because it's still not made. I'm gonna make it today. I promise. And I'm gonna shower, cook me some dinner, and relax. I got schoolwork to do, like reading for next week, so I'm gonna go ahead and start while I got some free time. Maybe clean out the truck and just have a chill night. I just want to chill. I'm so like bloated and heavy and stuff, so I just want to chill. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna relax and try to stay cool. It was really hot today. I think next week's gonna be hotter, but it's okay. We'll make it through it. We'll make it through it. And I hope y'all have a safe night. We'll probably hang out tomorrow, maybe do something, I don't know. It's kind of hard to film because I don't service, so I have to be at the library or a McDonald's, or yeah, so that sucks, but it is what it is. But we will talk soon, and I hope y'all have a safe night. Y'all be safe out there. Get outside after it cools off. Go for a little while, and pray for me, because God knows I need it, and I'm praying for you guys. And y'all be safe. Bye, y'all. Happy Friday.